Okay, this next video, we're just going to review some of the example calculation questions that we looked at in class. So remember when we calculate concentration, um, there's a couple ways that we could do that. And it's really important that we pay attention to our units. So the units for concentration are typically, so when we talk about concentration, we're typically measuring the amount of solute, which is the substance that we dissolve, based on so this is the mass of our solute, divided by the volume of my solvent, which is whatever we're dissolving it into. So typically we measure the mass of our solute in grams, and we measure the volume of our solvent, sorry, in milliliters. So grams divided by milliliters, this is our typical units for concentration. However, it doesn't always have to be in grams per milliliter. If we're talking about a large volume of something, like perhaps we're dissolving chemicals into a swimming pool, then we might want to measure the concentration in kilograms per liter. So this is another unit that we could use when we're talking about larger quantities. But it's important that if we have our mass in grams, that we have our volume in milliliters. And if we have our mass in kilograms, then we have our volume in liters. So in other words, we don't want to be combining grams and liters or kilograms over milliliters. We don't want to be using those units. So it's got to be one or the other. So let's look at example one. Calculate the concentration of salt water if you dissolve 65 grams. Oh, my question. Sorry, bad question. Salt, sugar, who cares? Whatever, let's just call it sugar. Calculate the concentration of sugar water if you dissolve 65 grams of sugar into 455 milliliters of water. So again, we have our mass of our solute, and we're going to divide that by the volume of our solvent. So in this case, my mass of my solute is 65 grams. The volume of my solvent, which is water in this case, is 455 milliliters. So again, check your units. It should be grams over milliliters, or it could be kilograms over liters. In this case, we have grams, check, milliliters, check. So all I have to do now is divide, and that will give me my units in grams per milliliter. So 65 divided by 455 gives me a concentration of 0.14 grams per milliliter. Next example. Okay, again, sorry, gosh, sugar, who cares? I'm dissolving sugar into water. This time, though, I have a large quantity of sugar. So I don't know, maybe I'm making like a big jug of sugary sports drink for my basketball team, and I'm going to need a lot of sugar and a lot of water. So in this case, I have my mass of my solute, and I'm going to divide it by the volume of my solvent. And the mass of my solute in this case is in kilograms. So I have 1.2 kilograms divided by 3.50 liters of water. So remember, for larger quantities, we can use kilograms, but our volume also has to be in liters. So it's either or. Don't combine them. Don't use grams and liters. Don't use kilograms and mils. So in this case, I have kilograms over liters, check. So all I have to do again is divide. So we're just going to go 1.2 divided by 3. And I get a concentration of 0.34. And my units in this case are kilograms per liter. Last one, I've got, again, sorry, I just copied, pasted, and changed the numbers, busted. So I have 850 grams of sugar, and my volume of water is 6.65 liters. So here I have an example where my mass is in grams, but my volume is in liters. So I can do one of two things. I can convert my mass into kilograms, or I can leave the mass in grams and I can convert my volume into milliliters. Either one is fine, and both will give you the same answer. So I'm going to do it with using one method, and then I encourage you to try it with the other and see if you get the same answer. So I'm going to convert my volume in milliliters, sorry, in liters into milliliters. So if you go back to the previous video I posted on unit conversion, I'm not going to explain that all over again here, but if I'm trying to convert liters into milliliters, liters are my base unit. Milliliters are 3 decimal places. I'm moving my decimal 3 spaces to the right. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 spaces, fill in the open space there with a 0, and I get 6,650 milliliters. So now I have my mass divided by my volume. Okay, and my mass is in grams. I have 850 grams of my solute divided by 6,650 milliliters of my solvent. So I have mass in grams, check, volume in milliliters, check. And then now we can just divide. So I get a number that it's 0.1278195. So I'm just going to round this off to 2 decimal places. So I have 0.12. Remember, when you're rounding, you always have to look at the next number to see if you round this up. So if this is 5 or higher, then we do round up. So this is going to become 0.13, and my units are grams divided by milliliters.